football games out west, I guess, help us out.
Go ahead with your questions for DJ.
Well, Otz, I guess the shots weren't falling as plentifully as the first two games, but forced 24 turnovers. You had to be happy with that.
Yeah, I think for us defensively, we're going to be at our best when we generate live ball turnovers and go in transition. We're able to do that, score a good amount of points in the paint and at the rim, which made up for our lack of, perimeter shooting, especially in that first half when we were 0 for 4 from 3. Again, it's not something that I'm overly concerned with because we want to get the ball in the paint first anyway, and we were able to get, some good opportunities that way. And we know that when that happens, teams will need to make choices and help in, and then we'll get the open threes.
What 3 games in, what have you learned about your team?
Yeah, I'd say great focus. Get through that first week. I mean, you have 3 games come at you pretty quickly, and so I felt like our guys' focus. I was, just with a group with a lot of new guys and some younger guys, the guys that have never done this before, their ability to stay focused in practice, in game day practice, and then in the games, felt like we did a pretty good job of that overall. So learned that. From a lineup and combination standpoint, we've played a lot of guys and given opportunities. So you learn maybe more like what lineups work better, what combinations work better. I've really liked the Taman Keyshawn dynamic of having, 2 guys that can get in the paint and make plays consistently. I felt like those guys have, both done a great job generating offense that way. And I'd say overall, like our frontline guys, I'm happy with how Rob's played. I think he's really stood out as a big positive. I think Hassan will continue to make his climb, and I know he'll play well. So overall, learn that they did a great job in the first week, and now we're going to have to, we've got some bumps and bruises, get guys healthy, and get back to the practice court and keep improving.
How did you feel how guys like Rob and Trey and Hassan played in the paint as Idaho State was kind of undersized in that area, and just kind of how they performed overall?
Yeah, I felt like Trey was, really playing well, getting to the basket on the offensive glass. Unfortunately, he turned his ankle there, so I'd love to, to see him get more opportunities as well. He was playing. Rob's been terrific. He was great again tonight. And with Hassan, based on how they play some things, it challenges a little bit. Him as a lob threat underneath is what we need to get him, going on, and he's a great offensive rebounder. So those guys did a really good job. We expect them to continue to do that. They're all, veteran, senior, guys, whether it's 50 or whatever it is, and we'll continue to count on them to bring that physicality and that effort in the paint.
You talked about the effort that Rob has kind of given you early in the season. You said you wanted to get him out on the court after the last game. What do you think has kind of allowed him to have some more success on the offensive end early in the year?
Yeah, he's done such a great job at elevating our defense, his communication, his rebounding. He's been first to the floor for a lot of loose balls that just stood out. And I know in this game, many point to their offense or view they're playing well as if the ball's going through the hoop and they're scoring points. What I've seen from Rob is him to focus and be so diligent defensively, getting the loose balls, getting the rebounds, blocking out, running the floor, and then things go your way. You see him get that run-out dunk in transition. Well, that's a byproduct of how hard he's playing on defense. So Rob's been a huge, huge bright spot. I can't say enough how pleased I am with him through 3 games. Talk about him a lot in the offseason at what he brings to our team, but he's brought tremendous play on the interior for us up to this point.
And then you talked a little bit there about liking the dynamic of Taman Lipsey and Keyshawn Gilbert in the backcourt. Speaking specifically to Keyshawn, he seems to bring a lot of energy to you guys, plays hard, plays fast, just talking a lot. What does that do for you early in the season on a Sunday morning where you got to get to the gym early for a game?
Yeah, well, I think you even saw there as in the first half, we played him through some foul trouble. He had 2 fouls early, and he has those drives in transition where he just attacks the rim and gets all the way downhill. His motor, his energy, his attacking mindset really gives us a dynamic to our offense that makes us effective. Also, as the clock continues to move on and the ball finds him, I think that's where he's really good as well, because as the defense gets spread out, moved around, he reattacks that paint that second time. So, with him and Taman having multiple guys that can get in there and make plays is so effective. But Keyshawn's motor and energy has definitely stood out as well.
Two things. One, was Trey just a bruise?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He was walking around the locker room. I think it was one of those things that let's be safe. I'm not exactly sure if it's a bruise, if it's a sprain of his ankle, or what it may or may not be. But we'll get it looked at later tonight and figure out what we need to do. But I just talked to him on the way out, and I'm not sure he was sure either. So we'll see. And
then Curtis, he just looked more comfortable. Can you walk us through what you've seen from him in his first 3 games?
Yeah, I think, he's a prolific offensive player, a guy that really can knock down shots, a guy who's been sound with the basketball, somebody that we need to get into a great rhythm at all times. That's a weapon for us, especially coming off the bench, a guy who averaged 15 a game last year at Buffalo. So what I saw today is more of, him just kind of relaxing and shooting the ball. I still think that he's thinking about it more than what we'd like. We just want him to let it rip. We tell him, you're like Steph Curry when you get in there. Just keep coming off, stay on the move, stay aggressive, and hunt that shot and that scoring opportunity, and that really helps our offense. I thought he did a better job of that today. I know that he still has a level above what we've seen up to this point in the season.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.